I often get asked, how hard is it to turn your swimming pool into a pond? Well, it's almost embarrassing to have to say, it's ridiculously easy. Welcome to part 4 of this series. Envirotube is looking at pools turned into ponds, but not just any pools turned into ponds, but ones that have been established for many years. Every pond is different. This one, it's a more recent one than the ones we've been looking at in this series, but look at it. Look at those plants. Absolutely spectacular. The water isn't as clear, but we don't have quite as much plant coverage. I reckon in a year or two, when we get about 30%, this will be crystal clear again. But it's certainly clear enough that I can see all the fish swimming around, and the koi, they're obvious, but there's some beautiful silver perch swimming around, and I hope we can get a shot of them so you can see how good they are. We've just arrived at this pool, and what have we found? An eastern water dragon. We found silver perch this big, amazing, koi swimming around. We've got these little blue eyes and gudgeon, a whole pantheon of native fish, koi accepted of course. We've also got a whole lot of things living on the surface, the boatman. We've got a whole lot of plants. We've got water lilies. Water lilies. Does anyone not love a water lily? Our cup runneth over with water lilies. Really, if you wanted a zoo, could you do better than turning your swimming pool into a pond? The first thing if you've got chlorine is stop the chlorine. And if you do that, it's just going to happen naturally. The water will naturally become stabilised and life will start moving in. If you've got salt water, it's a little trickier. You've got to remove the water. That's because salt takes so long to leave the system. So you stop the chemicals. You've either got rid of the salt water or you stop the chlorine. Now your pool's turning green. This is just a natural phenomenon. It occurs because algae is colonising the water. It just happens as a matter of course. Keep doing this, just waiting. This is where you've got to keep your nerve. Wait, 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 look in the water until you see wrigglers in the water. Wrigglers in the water are the sign that the water has stabilised and now it is ready for plants and fish. Okay, you've seen the wrigglers, you've added the plants and fish, you're done. That's all there is to it. I almost feel bad about saying, oh, we've had this great idea, turn your pool into a pond. This is so simple. It wants to occur naturally. We often will come across ponds that have just been walked away from by people who were too old, too bored, too whatever to look after their swimming pool. What happens is, inevitably we find that the water is stable, that there's frogs around, there's insects around. The water will become natural and healthy just by itself. This is an absolute haven, and this is what we have to do. Unless you want your companions in the future to be rats and cockroaches, we've got to start doing something. And in their own little way, the people who have turned their swimming pools into ponds are doing this. The amount of wildlife here is phenomenal. If you've got a swimming pool, turn it into a pond. I hope I've convinced you that turning a swimming pool into a pond is simple. But why bother? I mean, all right, it's simple, you know, you're helping a bit of biodiversity, you're busy, you've got stuff to do, what do you really care? Okay, let's cut to the bottom line. It's going to save you money. You're not going to have to pay exorbitant electricity bills to run a pump and filter for something that you don't use. Straight away, that's a massive saving. You're not using chemicals. I mean, boy, if there's one thing the planet doesn't need, it's people using chemicals. So if we can get you to stop using chlorine or salt, that's got to be a good thing. And 3, it's a rainwater tank without a lid. So you now have access to 60, 80, 20,000, depends how big your pool is, litres of clean, fresh water for anything. Wash your car, water your garden, plumb it into your house, whatever you like. So it's just logical. If you're not using your swimming pool, stop looking after it and maintaining it just for form's sake. Do something really useful and turn it into a pond. Just goes to show the variety that you can find when people turn their pools into ponds. Hope you enjoyed this session. Look forward to seeing you next time.